Hi guys and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Insurgency Sandstorm's top 5 best weapons. But what's cool about this video is that I'm going to show you what weapons are the most efficient to use and the most powerful by overall DPS. That's right fellas, I have personally put together a criteria of weapons with the highest damage per second just for you. Now the area of damage that I will be referring to is damage to the torso. Looking at the head damage is just totally unnecessary in this game because a shot to the head is always a one-shot kill with any firearm, and generally the torso, head and neck is what we try to aim for anyway. This awesome 5 best gun list will be including firearms in the security and insurgent side. I will be including firearms that are available in most classes, only excluding marksman and gunner, because I feel those classes are the kind of classes where it's a you do you kind of thing. You know, if you want to run a PKM or an M99 50 cal and sit in a corner and spawn camp people, that's right, you know who you are. I'm talking about you, mister. Well then, you know, you do you. So, just an FYI, Rifleman, Demolition, Observer, and Commander all use the exact same firearms, so I'll simultaneously be covering all those classes. So let's get started. Best weapon number 1 is the Tavor 7. Great rifle, I use it a lot. It has a caliber round of 7.62 by 51 mil, so very powerful. Large round. In spite of that though, I find the recoil is absolutely manageable. I don't find it too overwhelming at all. Of course, I always apply compensator and recoil grip with most weapons that I use in this game, just because of the fact that this game does have very realistic recoils. So the damage to the torso for the Tavor 7 is 104.7. It's got an RPM of 706, which gives us a fire rate of 11.7 rounds per second. This equals the total DPS value of a whopping 1,224. So pretty insane. It does cost 5 points, so it is a little on the expensive side. However, I don't struggle at all with that. I'm still finding that I'm able to carry a very efficient, well-equipped loadout, which includes the most important things such as smoke, frag, gas, and a mask. So overall, still very affordable. Best weapon number 2 is the G3A3, another weapon that I like to use here and there, especially if it's a sniper kind of map. All you need is that interchangeable 3-to-1 optic and off you go for those long range shots, and quite often a 1 to 2 shot kill. Amazing. But what's also amazing about the G3A3 is that it's quite diverse. Being an automatic rifle, it is also perfect for those short to medium range encounters. What a blessing in disguise. The G3A3 has that nice size caliber round of 7.62 by 51 mil. It has a damage to torso of 104.74. It has an RPM of 500, which gives us a fire rate of 8.3 rounds per second, so a little on the slower side. However, it does have a total DPS value of 869.3, so not bad in terms of power. Pretty good. It might be a little on the expensive side, as some would say, costing 4 points, but still pretty reasonable in my opinion. Again, you do want to fit that compensator with this guy, as the recoil can be a little much if you're a pussy. Saying that, best weapon number 3 is the 9mm MP5. A very fun little gun to use. I very much wish I could own one myself. It's light, it's nimble, it's quick, and quite powerful. I mean, this little guy has an impressive DPS value of 831.25. That is pretty bloody good for a 9mm SMG. Another thing to take note is that it is superior to the MP7, which you wouldn't think so because the MP7 costs more but it does in fact inflict less damage than the MP5. It has a slower fire rate and a much lower DPS, being only at 666.7. So I'm sorry to say this, guys, but if you have been running the MP7, well then, you have been wasting your time. You might be thinking, no you dang doofus, you don't know what you're talking about. The MP7 has armor-piercing rounds, and yes, you're right, it does have armor-piercing rounds, but again, if you're one of those people who are running around with armor, well, I'm sorry to say this, but, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself, okay? Absolutely ashamed, because armor in this game is a complete waste of time. You are far better off using your points on other more important things and, you know, and go on with your game. So, MP5, the damage to the torso is 62.5. It has an RPM of 800, which gives us 13.3 rounds per second, thus leading to a total DPS of 831.25. It's cheap, it's good, doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. 3 points is very good for its value, and it's available on both the security and insurgent side. Moving on to best weapon number 4 is the AKM, available on the insurgent side. Amazing, I use it all the time. It's so cheap, it only costs 3 points. Absolutely awesome AK variant. The best AK variant out of all of them in the game, as you would be aware. There are multiple AK variants, which include the Alpha AK, AK-74 and the AK-74U. And this one is the superior of them all. It has a caliber round of 7.62 by 39mm. It inflicts a damage to torso of 73. It has an RPM of 600, which gives us a fire rate of 10 rounds per second. This equals the total DPS value of 730. Not bad. And as I said, very affordable. Moving on to our final weapon, the last but not the least, is the G36K. Available on the security side. Another weapon I use a fair bit, very good. I did struggle with the decision on this one though, because I also love the AUG A3, and they are both very similar with only a DPS difference of 70 between the two. The G36 having higher DPS. So really, it was a tough one for me. However, the reload speed of the AUG is actually 1 second slower than the G36. So, I mean, you could compensate for that by reloading while there is still at least one round in the chamber. That does help scrape off a few milliseconds, but the G36 quick reload time is actually quite good, being only 3.1 seconds as opposed to 4 seconds with the AUG. And trust me, reload time is very important. I've been caught out many times reloading, and it's not very fun. So the G36 has a caliber round of 5.56 by 45 with a damage to torso of 64.74. It has an RPM of 741, which gives us a fire rate of 12.3 rounds per second. This equals a total DPS value of 800. Not bad, also very affordable, only costing 3 points. So that's all, fellas. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, and most of all, would you all just get along? That's it for now. Adios.
Oh my goodness, I just killed so many people.